Welcome to Homestead Reptile, and today I have two examples of a gecko, one with a tail and one without a tail. So when your crested gecko loses its tail, it won't really ever truly grow it back. Now I have seen some geckos that end up having, it looks like they have a little hot dog stuck to their butt. So the tail kind of looks like a docked tail of a dog. So they don't really truly grow back, and those are kind of rare cases when you get some length, but it's kind of sad and kind of weird looking. They look funky, but they don't truly come back. Unlike their close cousins, pretty much all other New Caledonian geckos grow their tail backs. Pretty much every other species of gecko I know grows their tails back. Crested geckos are the exception. So their closest cousin, Ceratosaurus Coralophus, or is it? I think it's Coralophus Ceratosaurus. They grow their tails back. Crested geckos do not. So I don't know why that is, but it's one of those things. And it's something that's kind of neat. So the hybrids between those two, most of the time they take the trait of if they lose the tail, they grow it back. So just an interesting fact. So does this harm your crested gecko if it loses its tail? Is it losing something important to its lifestyle? No. So if you look up wild crested geckos, you'll pretty much see them without tails, especially adults. You'll rarely, if ever, see a adult wild crested gecko with a tail. So for whatever reason, it's more beneficial for them to lose the tail and to never grow it back than to grow it back. I don't know why. The other ones do. Who knows? Something in crested gecko biology and evolution made it more beneficial for them to lose it and never grow it back again, unlike their cousins. So it is mostly a cosmetic issue, and they can drop their tail for several stupid reasons. So out of my entire collection, I only currently have 3 frog butts. This beautiful red female, another juvenile female, and a baby. So out of all, and that was the first baby I've ever had lose a tail. So out of all my other geckos, I only currently have 3 geckos that have lost their tails, and 2 of them lost their tails during a huge thunderstorm. So really, really bad weather. Ripped the sidings of my greenhouse out. Was basically the whole house was vibrating with how bad the thunderstorm was. And in the morning, checked on my geckos. Only 2 dropped their tails, so wasn't very bad. And they can drop their tail for several reasons. So as we're looking at this girl's tail, this I'm trying to show you, they have a little flat piece to the tail right here. It has a the same type of gripping pad that their toes have. So that same modified scale that allows them to grip onto glass and just to grip and climb onto things. So crested geckos have gripping pads and they have claws, so they use both. And if a gecko wants to cling onto something, it can cling onto something. They won't fall off unless they want to fall off. But the loss of a tail is mostly a cosmetic issue. It's not going to bother the gecko. They adapt to not having a tail very easily. There's no difference. This guy has a full tail right here, so his little suction cup has not been bitten. But you can kind of see the pad right there that allows the tail to grip. So a crested gecko's tail is a really unique, interesting part of their body. It's like it is somewhat prehensile. It has a little gripping pad to help it grip onto things. You'd think how useful the tail is, they would have evolved a way to regrow the tail, but they just don't. That's just how they are. So it is a cosmetic issue. If your gecko loses its tail, it's not a sign that you're a bad keeper. It's honestly could be a sign that the gecko got just scared of whatever. It could have got scared of a cricket you threw in his cage, could have got scared of the vacuum, could have got scared of during a thunderstorm, fireworks going off, shipping. There's like 1,000 different reasons a gecko will throw its tail. And it could just decide one day it doesn't want to have its tail for whatever reason. Maybe it bit its own tail because it thought it was a bug. I've seen that happen too. For whatever strange reason, they can lose their tail. There was this one incident. It was super funny. So these 2 baby geckos hatch out at the same time. And as the first one's crawling over the other one's egg, the one that's just barely gotten out of the egg, the other one opens up its mouth, bites the other one's tail, and yanks his tail off, and the other one runs away. So weird things like that can happen. So it's just one of those things. It's a cosmetic issue. It's not a sign of bad keeping. It's just one of those things. I think they look better with tails, but without a tail, it's still a perfectly good gecko. Like and subscribe.